What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with Tech Daily. So every year at CES, all of the big name brands in the TV and display industry bring their latest and greatest creations, and this year was no different. Sony, Samsung, and LG all brought some very impressive hardware to show off, and I'm pretty excited for the future of TVs after getting a chance to see everything in person. To start off, Sony essentially built their entire booth around this, their first 4K OLED TV, the Bravia OLED A1E series. Now, 4K OLED is not new, obviously, but it's new to Sony, and what they have here is a really beautiful, really competitive display. It's available in 55, 65, and 77 inches, and the whole setup, both front and back, is really unique. The TV has this massive kickstand around back to hold it up, which is crazy, and makes the TV really interesting and certainly stand out, even if it isn't the most practical thing in the world. And for those of you who are pretty well versed in the TV space, you'll notice that there seems to be a lack of any sort of visible speakers or soundbar either on the TV or attached off to the side. That's because while there is a subwoofer behind the TV, the entire OLED panel also works as a speaker by itself. They took a page out of LG's book, who had been experimenting with something similar, but what Sony did was attach a driver to the OLED screen, and as the whole thing vibrates, it becomes a speaker essentially. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any good sound samples, but I would imagine it sounds okay, but probably not that great. And if you're spending thousands on a TV like this, I guess you'll probably be hooking up a much better sound system anyway. Pricing and availability weren't formally announced, but you can expect these things to come with a mid to high four-figure price tag at a bare minimum. While Sony played catch-up in the OLED space, Samsung took their displays in a new direction. Their focus was on QLED, or QLED I guess you could say, which obviously they're saying is a much better image quality and viewing experience. The Q stands for quantum dots, and while SUHD quantum dot displays haven't necessarily been rated higher than OLED, Samsung hopes to change that. The QLED displays use light-emitting diodes and quantum dot technology to deliver the picture, and they can display accurate color at any brightness, which is important because these QLED displays have a peak brightness of between 1500 and 2000 nits, quite a bit higher than the 1000 nit peak of last year's displays. The brighter you go with most TVs, the less accurate the colors appear, but with these QLED displays, color and picture quality should be near perfect, and viewing angles are also vastly improved as well. There'll be 3 models of Sony's QLED TVs launching this year: the Q9F, which is a flat panel, the Q8C, which is curved, and a cheaper Q7 model. Again, no official release date or pricing was announced, but you can expect to see a majority of the TVs start to go on sale most likely in the spring, and most likely for a hefty price tag. Definitely one of the most impressive setups across all of CES was LG's booth. They had a tunnel made up of their 55-inch curved 4K OLED displays, and standing inside it was awesome. A crazy cool experience that was really popular and really fun. But even more impressive than that was their new LG Signature OLED TV, a 4K 65-inch or 77-inch HDR display that's as thin as about 4 credit cards. They had these TVs mounted on panes of glass via magnets, and that's how you mount them on your wall too. You literally just hang the TV up using some magnets on the wall. It's about as thin as I'd personally want any display. I mean, I can't even imagine attempting to move or handle this thing. I think I'd be afraid to bend it the second I try to pick it up. The all-in-one box and soundbar down at the bottom is really nice looking too. It's pretty chunky, but the design of it really stands out, and the speakers actually pop up while in use. It's a Dolby Atmos soundbar and also is needed to power the TV itself, so you'll have to have it close by one way or another, but the sound it puts out is pretty decent. They had a whole room set up to experience it, and it wasn't bad all in all. Unlike the other TVs I mentioned, if you're so inclined, you can pick up the 65-inch LG Signature through Best Buy right now for $8,000 with free delivery. So there you go, those were just some of the really impressive TVs that were showcased at CES this year. I know I missed out on Panasonic and a couple other lesser known brands, but let me know what you guys think of these in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow Tech Daily on Twitter and subscribe to the Tech Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.